I'm Anthony, your host. Welcome to the channel, Aquascaping on the Fly, Living Art Creations and your Fly Guy's Guide. That is me to all things aquascaping. So I've been watching some comments online and I'm seeing a familiar thread that's going around, and it concerns with dwarf hairgrass, especially for beginners, how to plant your dwarf hairgrass in your aquarium. And I've got this covered. I got you covered on this one. So if you're new to the hobby like I am, I've only been doing this for a couple of months. What I did early on is, because I do have a tank build that is going to have dwarf hairgrass featured heavily in it. It's a 20-gallon tank, but the entire foreground in the front needs to be a full carpet of dwarf hairgrass. And I knew that I didn't want to spend the budget on just buying enough of it to fill it in. So I thought, okay, I went online. I didn't get it from a aquarium vendor. I got it on Amazon, and I think I paid $17 for one little, not an in vitro section of it, but it was in a little baggie. And so when it arrived, I kind of like pulled all the little pieces out. I'm not talking about the individual hairs. The individual hairs, I pulled and spread them all out in a line. And then I set up a plastic tub that I first put down the API root tabs. So I put the root tabs down on the bottom of the tub, and then I put a small layer of aqua soil on top of that. And then I started putting the dwarf hairgrass into the substrate. And then as a result, when I had everything laid out, I poured in a little bit of water that was treated, dechlorinated, and also with the liquid fertilizer from API. So it was getting a lot of fertilizer. And that was November the 24th. So what I'm going to do is show you on camera. We're going to open up the tub. You're going to see what it looks like. And then this is like a real world experiment on how you could do this and save a ton of money on, instead of buying a lot of the product, buy just one like I did, and you can see the results that I've had so far. So hang on for like a little hot second while I get set up. Okay, so now I position the camera. This is just sitting on my kitchen counter, and let me take the lid off. Let you get a little closer. Okay, there you go. I didn't put the light on it totally because you can see it does a heavy reflection on it. And I want you to be able to see what we're talking about. So let's zoom in. Okay. Now, when I prepped this container, I literally had 1 or 2 strands at the most. When I had some left over, I had 3 strands together in a clump. And I did it in a checkerboard grid pattern, meaning I gave them all about 2 inches of room between each one of them. And this is a really good real-time study into how this would work in an aquarium. What we are major going to focus on is right here. Now, I have to change the water out about every 10 days so that, it doesn't get stagnant. And I want you guys to see this. This is a runner. And so you can tell one plant has popped up every, probably like a 1/8 of an inch on this one runner strand. Now, this first runner I noticed 2 weeks ago. So at that point, this had been in its growth chamber for, we know, between a month to 6 weeks. This is almost, if I stretched it out without breaking it, well, I don't want to break it, but if I stretched it out, you would see that it's almost 3 inches long. That gives you some real-time information about how you would plant your dwarf hairgrass. Now, here's the clump. Look how big the clump got. Now remember, every clump started out with just 3. And so now you can see here how big the clump is now. And then here's the runner attached to it. And if you're looking at, let's see, and I can tell you from the clump sizes, I know where I got more fertilizer put down. Let's back up just a little. Back up. Okay. Too much, there we go. Like this one right here. So you can see it's got its runner on it. It's super thick though. Oops, dropped you. It's super thick as far as the plant itself goes. So it's really bulked up. All the plants, as you'll see here, they've all bulked up. So they all got a lot beefier. And if I pulled them out, I know I would see runners under all of them. Like, here's another one. One right here. They all have runners on them. So, and if you'll, well, oh, okay, well, they don't now. That's what happens when you mess with it. So as you can see, okay, here's one where it is, here's a runner strand right here. That broke off whenever I changed out the water. And let's see what else we got. Let's see if we can zoom into the backside without getting glared out. Now occasionally, yes, this does get algae blooms in it because I've got a lot of fertilizer going in. But look how beautiful the plants are. I mean, they're getting that nice clump shape. It's kind of like an oval at the top. You're gonna be able to do this. If I can do this, and this is my first attempt at it, I know you guys will have success doing this. Just remember, do something different than I did. When I put this media in here, I think I did, let me look at it. Yeah, it's about 3/4 of an inch. For the dwarf hairgrass, it needs much deeper because the plant tends to get dislodged easily because of the water's in there. So that when we plant this in the aquarium, of course, my substrate would be a lot deeper than this. That way you could bury the dwarf hairgrass in there and its roots would have a much stronger foundation. The problem I'm having is because it gets jostled around because I'm draining water out of it. You know, the plants don't get to stay where they are, so they become dislodged. So it's no longer my checkerboard pattern that's in here that is what I had to start with. I've not had any problems like with gnats getting into the bin. This is not one of the closed bins that has the gasket seal. If you've watched any of my videos on here before, when you're trying to grow plants like I am, I'm trying to grow a lot of different aquarium plants. Sometimes gnats will get in there and they'll lay eggs in there and then you'll have a massive gnat problem. They've not bothered this one at all, so I'm really happy about that. But one cool thing is if you put a little bit deeper substrate, if you're worried about how long it's going to take you for your hairgrass to like form that carpet, just put your plants closer together if you can afford that. But for this one, just remember, this entire setup was $17 for the plant. And the tub was, I think, $9. And then the aqua soil was $10. Well, I didn't use a full bag, so it wasn't even $10. So for that investment, I'm going to keep mine growing in here until my tank is ready to set up, because I want this as big as possible, so that when I plant mine, I'm going to plant it probably 1.5 inches apart, because I know the runners are going to take over. And I think it's probably going to be healthier for the plant to let the plant fill in naturally like it would in nature, instead of me just going in there and planting a carpet immediately. That way the plant can send out its own runners where they want to go, they can pop up, and if there's any bare spots, I can always go back later and add a plant if I want to, like if I'm really craving a faster instant carpet. But you don't have to do that. So just keep that in mind mind on how you can prepare for this. So remember, order something inexpensive, try it. Remember, this is just water that's been treated. My pH coming out of my tap water is a 7.6. That is fine for this plant anyway, because I think it taps out at a 7.5. I'm right there at the borderline for it. And it can handle the cold water. My water temperature in here in my tubs is always like around 69 degrees. So it's doing fine. I have not had one strand die back, and I think that is amazing. So I hope this helps. Stay tuned for the next videos I've got coming out. I do have one coming out where I'm talking about more of the aquarium plants that I'm growing and the problems I'm having with some. But with this one, this is a 5-star review already. I'm loving it. So thanks guys, have a great day. Bye-bye.